On tonight's show, we break down the NFC North. On tonight's show, guys, we break down the NFC South. Way too early win-loss predictions. We have a little Inferno Thursday and, of course, Factor Crap. But first...
And now, Mike's thoughts.
Let me be crystal clear. Wishing death on somebody is not edgy. It is not brave. It's not justice. It's disgusting. It's cowardly, and it's inhumane. In the last few days, we've seen the tragic news of Jim Irsay's death. Whether you love the man, disagreed with him, or barely paid attention to what he did with the Colts, the facts remain. A life was lost. A family is grieving. Human beings are hurting. And somehow, in the middle of all that, some of you decide that it was your moment to call for Jerry Jones to be next. You seriously think death is something to joke about? To wish upon someone because you don't like how they run the football team? That's the line now? That's what we become? You don't have to agree with someone's decisions. You don't have to like their politics, their leadership style, or their business practices, or how they run a franchise. But the moment you open your mouth, or worse, type on your phone to say, I hope he dies next, you've already lost any credibility. You've lost your humanity. Let me ask you this. What does it say about you that you think someone else deserves death over a damn football opinion? It's not criticism, not accountability, not legal consequences, but literal death. If you think that makes you some type of righteous vintage newsflash, you're not a hero. You are a mortal crusader. You're just another person spewing with hate, calling it justice. Jim Irsay did not deserve to die. And Jerry Jones doesn't deserve to die either. You want to criticize the Cowboys? Fine. You want to roast him for his draft picks, his coaching decisions? Do it. But the minute you cross the line, I hope he dies next, you become a villain. You become the sickness. Let's be clear than this. Let's be better than this. Let's debate. Let's hold people accountable, but do not ever again let the anger mature into something so ugly that you forget one basic rule of a human being. Every life matters, even the ones you don't agree with. Stop wishing death on people, period. End of story. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw, steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off, get it hype. This man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation, guys, and welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, and uncut NFL talk. Guys, I'm so glad you're with us here today. Before we dive into today's action, let me tell you a little bit about something about manhourradio.com. Guys, that's where you can grab all your exclusive merch. You can check out the latest blogs and stay up to date on everything that we're doing over here at Man Hour Nation. If you're repping the Man Hour, that is the place to do it. But do not forget to hit the like button, hit the share button, and hit the subscribe button to the channel as well. It is the best way to stay connected with us and to make sure that you never miss a live show. Even though we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here at youtube.com and, of course, facebook.com/manhour. But wait! there is even more. There is more. You can become a Pigskin Pundit. That's our members-only community where you get free entry into all of our weekly NFL pick'ems, our random giveaways, and exclusive merch as well. You get access to extra live streams that only the Pigskin Pundits get. So you want the full man-hour experience? Sign up and join the squad today. And now, remember this, guys, this is a live interactive show, so make sure you comment down below. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts, and I want to hear your opinions and your hottest of the hottest takes. We're all about that conversation. Before we get away, let's welcome some people into the chat. We got my man. There it is. He says, Panthers in the playoffs. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Now, as I do think the Panthers are much improved in 2025. I do think the Panthers have a lot of building that they did during the offseason. I think Bryce Young is finally ready to take that leap bound forward, but you need to slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Right?
Pigskin Pun.
We also got to welcome Old Man River in the chat. What's up, Old Man River? Hope you have a good day, brother. Hope you're having a good day. He says the fear of competition is why people are wishing death on people. Okay. I don't know. Nobody says, please show me your codes. I will never show you my codes. Codes to what, buddy? Like, what are you even talking about? Tommy, Tanuna, Jenny. What's up? We've got my man Alpha Rob in the chat as well. What's up, Old Man? Sorry, Alpha Rob. My bad. I was reading Old Man River. Said decent quarterback with Bryce Young. Guys, we will definitely dive deep into the Carolina Panthers. They are the third team on the list, I do believe. But let's start off right here up at the top. Let's start off right at the top. Whoa. Hang on. John with the shots fired. John says the Panthers ain't doing shit. Get that Panther talk out of here, says John. John, guys, is a Pigskin Pundit.
Pigskin Pun. Get you some.
John, thank you for all your support. Old Man River, thank you for all your guys' support as well. If you guys want to be like John and Old Man River, hit the subscribe button down below. $4.99 a month, get you free entry into all of our weekly NFL pick'ems, into our exclusive merch. And yes, I am wearing that goddamn Cowboys hat, baby. You gotta represent a Super Bowl bound team when you have the opportunity to, name John. But guys, let's start off the top. Let's start off with the top and let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. Let's break down the 2025 season for the New Orleans Saints. And guys, this is way too early win-loss predictions, but let's be honest. And I'm going to be honest with you right now. If you are a Saints fan, you might want to pour yourself a stiff drink. You might want to pour yourself a stiff drink. Take a few shots because this is going to be a tough one. As I went through their full schedule and I made the way too early win-loss predictions, and quite frankly, guys, it's not looking good if you are a New Orleans Saints fan. Week 1 through 4, it is a brutal start. Week 1, the Saints hit the road to face the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, those Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray is fully back healthy. Marvin Harrison Jr., he is the real deal. And guys, the Arizona Cardinals pull off the win. And that's an 0-1 start for the Atlanta Falcons. And then week number 2, they get to open up at home finally, but versus the San Francisco 49ers. And there's no shame into losing to a juggernaut like the San Francisco 49ers. The winning of the NFC West, San Francisco 49ers, I might add, but that is another L on the record, dropping them to 0-2 on the season. Now, week 3, they head across the continental United States of America and they head to Seattle to face the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks do have Cooper Kupp to add to the mix, but no DK Metcalf, no Tyler Lockett, but the Seattle offense is still dangerous. That's another loss. Number 3 in a row, 0-3 start for the New Orleans Saints. And going into week 4, it does not get any easier if you are a Saints fan. And though, because week number 4, they play the Buffalo Bills. Even if the Saints play their best game of their minds, they play out of their minds, they play an A+ game and the Buffalo Bills play a C- game, they could just not hang with the firepower of the Buffalo Bills. They cannot hang with Josh Allen. It is an 0-4 start. A rough part to the first quarter of the season. That is tough. 0-4 going into week 5. And weeks 5 through 8, guys, they desperately are looking for a spark. They are looking for something to grab onto and move forward. It's not going to happen. Week number 5, they visit the New York Football Giants. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It could be Jameis Winston. It could be Russell Wilson. Hell, they could trade for Daniel Jones to the from the Indianapolis Colts. It doesn't matter. The New York Giants grinded out at home and Saints fall to 0-5. It is tough. And then week number 6, it is a trip to New England. And while the Patriots have issues of their own, their defense shuts down the Saints just enough to hand them the 6th straight loss to start the season. 0-6. And then going into week 7, the Chicago Bears come to town. The mighty, mighty Chicago Bears. There's a window here, but the Chicago's young talent prevails. Rookie head coach, second-year quarterback, a lot of mystery pieces. It's an 0-7 start. But then finally, week 8, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to the Dome. And that's where the New Orleans Saints finally get their first win of the season. Baker Mayfield can't get it going, and the Saints avoid the shutout start. Finally get the win, 1-7 through the first weeks of the season. Guys, that is 1 win and 7 losses. There's a whole lot of frustration right now in New Orleans. The offense is stuck. The locker room is on edge, and they don't know who their quarterback is. It could be Spencer. It could be Tyler. It could be Dirk's guy. Hell, they might even make a trade for Aaron Rodgers at the particular point. I don't know. They have issues in New Orleans, and then weeks 9 through 11, the skid resumes. It just gets worse and worse and worse. Week 9, the Saints head out west to face the LA Rams. Stafford and company light up the secondary. That's another loss. That is another loss. Then week number 10, a trip to Carolina to face the Panthers. Even in a rebuild, the Panthers had the Saints number this season. Lost again. They're now 1-9. Now, bright news. They got a bright side happening here. Week 11 is a bye, which they badly need. For the roster, for the staff, for the fans, they need something to happen positive. Heading into the bye, guys, they are 1-9. At this point, the season goals have shifted to evaluate and future planning. But week 12 through 14, they find a little bit of faint hope. They find a little bit of hope to grab onto. In week 12, back at home versus the old mighty Atlanta Falcons. A rivalry game. Emotions are high, and the Saints get it done. That's the win number 2 on the season. They're now 2-9 on the season. And then week 13, a trip to Miami. The Miami Dolphins offense is just too much. Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Tua. The Saints defense gets torched. It is a loss. It sucks, but it's a loss. Week number 14 is the Buccaneers yet again. And this time, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bounce back and hand the New Orleans yet another divisional loss. So, guys, at this point, there are 4 games left of the season. The Saints are 2-11. They are in that first overall draft pick. This is where you start looking at the serious question about the coaching staff, the quarterback room, and the overall direction of the franchise. But weeks 15 through 18, they finish the slog, right? Week 15 is a rematch with the Carolina Panthers, this time in the Dome, but even at home, I do not see it going their way. Carolina Panthers complete the sweep of the New Orleans Saints in week 15. Week 16, the Jets come to town. The Jets have been inconsistent, and this is where the Saints finally catch a break. They win game, 3rd win of the season, 3-12. Week 17, they head to Tennessee, where now Derrick Henry is now in Baltimore, but the Titans are still relying on the running game. Tajay Spears, Tony Pollard, the Tennessee Titans get it done with the win at home. And then week 18, the final game of the season, they're hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Nothing but to play for pride at this point. And unfortunately, the Atlanta plays like they still have something on the line, and the Saints finish with the loss. So my final win-loss prediction for the New Orleans Saints in 2025 is 3-14. It is going to be a long season in New Orleans. They have no identity on offense. They are inconsistent. The quarterback play sucks, and the defense can only carry so much of its weight. It feels like a soft reset year, and unless something dramatic changes, aka Aaron Rodgers comes to town, this team is headed for a top 5 pick, if not the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft. So, guys, the question is, can the Saints shock us and find a way to outperform this 13-4 outlook, or is it time to start scouting for a new quarterback? Guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and remember, guys, we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. It is a live, interactive show, so let me know your comments down below. Let's go ahead and scroll back up and see what the people are talking about. John says the Saints finished with 2, maybe 3 wins tops. John, we are on the same exact page, brother. I just do not see the Saints being any good. Tyler Shuck could be a franchise quarterback, but who is he going to throw to? Alvin Kamara? Is Alvin Kamara going to be the end-all, be-all for the New Orleans Saints offense? Like, they just don't have anybody. It sucks. But then John says it's just like the Panthers. Ooh, buddy. Just like
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
That is tough. That is tough. Old Man River says history repeats itself. Arch Manning goes to the Saints. Woo. Wouldn't that be something? The New Orleans Saints draft 3 quarterbacks in 2 seasons. Actually, it would be 4 quarterbacks in 3 seasons. Tell me you don't know what you're doing without telling me you don't know what you're doing at this particular point, right? It just, man. And John says the Saints are not beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And John, I would agree with you. However, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is on either team. It could be Tom Brady versus Drew Brees. It could be Derek Carr versus Baker, right? The Saints had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers number at least once a season, if not twice. It's just like the history always repeats itself, and the Saints just have the Buccaneers number. They have that mindset. They have that mind over them, right? It's just, I didn't want to pick it. But at the same time, I got to give a dog a bone at the end of the day. And David Barlson, what's up, David? He says, that's not happening. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are sweeping the Saints. When is the last time the Buccaneers have swept the Saints? I know the Saints have swept the Buccaneers with Tom Brady, right? Well, wasn't it that Tom Brady never beat the Saints in the regular season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I could be wrong on that, but I feel like the only time the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have Tom Brady and the Buccaneers have beat the Saints was in the playoffs. Guys, the Saints have the Buccaneers number. It is what it is. And Old Member says, I don't think they win a game. 0-17. Whew, that's tough, baby. That is tough. Man. David says, I can already tell I'm going to disagree with a lot of what you guys have to say. David, I love it, man. Disagree. Challenge my thoughts. Challenge my opinions, right? That is what the Man Hour is all about. We are out here. Yes, I can throw spaghetti at a wall. You can throw spaghetti at like at a wall. But that one thing that sticks, I'm going to challenge it. And I expect you to do the same thing for me, David. Hold me accountable. That's what the pigskin pundits do, David, and you are now part of the family. Welcome. Old Man River says it's all speculation at this point. Can you hear his head rattling? Hey, I got a big brain there, man. I got a small head, but a big brain. There's no rattling. There's just a lot of CTE in there. Alpha Rob is saying the Saints are going to go 3-14 as well. Alpha Rob, man. Guys, we do not have a lot of faith in the New Orleans Saints this season. Let's just be flat honest. We do not see it at all. David says they'll be lucky to get 3, I think. So let me ask a generalized question here. Generalized question, right? Now, we all think the Saints are going to be bad this season. 3 wins, 0 wins, 2 wins. I don't think anybody has them more than 4 wins at this particular point. Are we leaning to quarterback play? Is it all based off the quarterback play? Does their quarterback play suck that bad that they just cannot figure themselves out? Or is it a team as a collective? Because many people are saying with Derek Carr at the helm, they're an 8, 9, 10, possibly 11 win team. I say pump the brakes and slow it down, baby. I don't think Derek Carr would even win the starting job with the roster as currently constructed. But that's just my opinion, guys. I think it is the lack of quarterback play, a lack of experienced quarterback play, and then the lack of receivers I like as well. Somebody brought up Chris Olave. How you say his name? Olave last night. I forgot he was even on the roster. So that shows you how much he has played. I'm just saying. David says, I think they lose every divisional game this season, and that would not be a reach, David. Like, honestly, that would not be a reach, because if I pull up my V2 playoff predictor here, do I got to sign in? Yeah, I got to sign in. So give me a moment. Let me sign in. I mean, obviously, I only have them winning that one game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they get swept by the no, I haven't beat the Falcons, right? Nope, they get swept by the Falcons, swept by the Panthers, and they split with the Bucs. I mean, that is just tough, right? That is tough at the end of the day. Of course, it did not save. So it is all on my work computer. David said Arch is not even coming out this season. He has an opportunity to, right? I mean, obviously, he's making a lot of NIL money. He's going to be making a lot of NIL money. It would not shock me if he surpasses the $60, $70 million NIL money as a backup quarterback. But I think if the Saints are the number one overall pick, he might come out. I'm just saying. Old Man River says, no way that Baker motherfucking Mayfield Bucks sweep the Saints. I don't know, man. I don't know. It is tough. The Saints want the first overall pick, said David, or said John, and John says, throw it back at him, David. Hey, challenge my thoughts, David. Challenge the thoughts. David says this year's Tampa is too much for the Saints. Listen, obviously this is way too early, and obviously I think the Bucs have the best roster in the NFC South. I think the Bucs have a really, really good team. They have an aging team, but with this young Saints team, if they could get any vote of confidence, a couple early season wins, they could potentially be a 5-win team, 6-win team. But I still think they split. Old Member says there's a line isn't giving the quarterback a chance. Yet the line is very, very trash. Quarterbacks are trash, says Alpha Rob. You guys are correct. John says, even with Aaron Rodgers, they're still not winning 4 games. You're right. With Aaron Rodgers, they're going to the Super Bowl, John. Aaron Rodgers is that good a quarterback. He will take you to the promised land. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. David said, it's a team and they're shopping players, so they're going to lose more talent. They are. Build around Alvin Kamara. You're not going to build around Alvin Kamara. I understand that Alvin Kamara got that, was it a 3-year deal last season? So he has, 2 years, 1 year left on his deal. But Alvin Kamara, I don't think is a player you can build around. He had those couple good seasons, but he is pushing the age of 30. Matter of fact, he turns 30 in just a few months. Turn that off there. He turns 30 July 25th. You are not building a team around a 30-year-old tailback. I'm just saying. John said you had them winning against the Bucs, Falcons, and Jets. You are correct. My bad. I did. Brain damage. Another back that catches passes. Alvin Kamara does catch passes. He's also 30 years old. And I understand that Derrick Henry just got the 2-year, $60 or $30 million deal, the highest paid, oldest running back in the NFL. I get it. But at the end of the day, he's an outlier. Alvin Kamara can't do everything. But that's what I thought. Those are my thoughts. 3-14 on the season. With that being said, with college, Jesus. Alvin Kamara went to Tennessee, Old Man River. We're not talking about Alabama today. Let's move on to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Atlanta Falcons gave Kirk Cousins a massive contract last season and then turned around and drafted Michael Penix Jr. in the first round. That was 2024. But let's fast forward to 2025 into present day. It is now Michael Penix Jr.'s team. And while the future might be bright, the road this season looks rough for the Atlanta Falcons. Let's break down the way too early win-loss predictions for the Atlanta Falcons and a take of how a look this season might play out in the 4 key stretches. Now, weeks 1 through 4, it's early trouble in the dirty South. It is a rough start for the Atlanta Falcons right off the bat. Week number 1, they hit the road to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is still in control, and that Bucs defense will bring pressure all day long, baby. Michael Penix Jr. is quickly going to be shown that he is not a franchise quarterback. Michael Penix Jr. is going to quickly find out that maybe Kirk Cousins wasn't so bad after all. Falcons' first loss of the season come week number 1, and that's to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then week number 2, home opener versus the Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy is now the guy in Minnesota, and while he should have rookie struggles, even though he is a second-year player, he is surrounded by more talent. The Vikings are a very, very talented team. The Vikings are a very, very talented team, but the Falcons fall to 0-2 on the season. And then week number 3, they're back on the road taking on the Carolina Panthers, a division rival. Young quarterbacks on both sides of the ball, but Bryce Young and the Panthers defense got better, and Penix here, the Penix is just figuring out that he is not the guy. He is a lot of learning to still take place. The Falcons are now 0-3. And then week number 4, it does not get any easier. Yes, they are back at home, but they're playing the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels has the legs and the arms to challenge this defense. Jaden Daniels might be the MVP this season, and Atlanta can't keep up offensively. It's another loss, now 0-4 to start the season. So the first 4 weeks, guys, they're 0-4. And that excitement from the offseason is quickly fading. The whole Michael Penix Jr. is our guy, quickly fading. The whole we drafted 2 edge rushers even though we needed 1, quickly fading. The whole we got an A+ on the draft, quickly fading. Then week 5 through 8, it's time for a reset and then a little bit of surprise. Week 5, bye week. As it is needed, the offense is inconsistent and the defense is struggling. It would not shock me if we see a presence of Kirk Cousins start rumbling around this Atlanta Falcons organization at this particular point. But then week number 6, they return to action against the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen and company are proved to be too much. The Falcons fall to 0-5 on the season. Week number 7, they're back on the road, taking on the San Francisco 49ers. That defense will feast on this young Michael Penix Jr. quarterback, and Penix gets overwhelmed early and often. Guys, the Falcons fall to 0-6 on this season. It is a tough way to start, but here comes the shocker. Week number 8, the Miami Dolphins come to town, and the Atlanta Falcons pull off the upset of all upsets. Whether it's a sloppy play by Miami or Michael Penix Jr. is finally balling out, the Falcons grab their first win of the season, move to 1-6 on the season heading into week number 9. So we're at the halfway mark, guys. They are 1-6. It is still ugly, but Michael Penix Jr. is showing flashes of potential against Miami, and that's all that matters. If they win 70% of other games moving forward, they have a real playoff shot. But weeks 9 through 13, they take a step forward, but then they take 2 steps back. That's just been the MO of the Atlanta Falcons as of late, and it continues. Week number 9, they're at home versus the New England Patriots, and that defense is too disciplined. The Falcons struggle, fall to 1-7. Week number 10, they're at home versus the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson is clicking, and Indy's run game controls the pace. Another loss. 1-8 on the season. Now on to week 11. On the road versus the Carolina Panthers. It's time. Penix shows more command, and the Atlanta Falcons even the series with the win, moving the Falcons to 2-8 on the season. And then week 13, the Falcons head north to take on the mighty New York Football Jets. The Jets defense is nasty, and Penix just can't get comfortable. The story of the season. Falcons dropped to 2-10 on the season. Now, after week 13, they're 2-10. Still rough, but the Panthers and the Dolphins wins offer a glimpse into what it could be. Now, week 14 through 18, they are playing spoiler, ending with a little bit of grit, right? Week 14, the Falcons host the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold is now the quarterback for the Seahawks, and while he's serviceable, this one Atlanta takes. Win number 3 for the Atlanta Falcons are now 3-10 on the season. Week 15, back in Tampa to face the Bucs. It's a sweep for the Bucs. The Falcons lose. They're now 3-11. Week 16, the Falcons head into Arizona. Kyler Murray picks apart their defense. The Falcons fall to 3-12 on the season. Then week number 17, they're on the road versus the LA Rams. Stafford, Devontae Adams, and the rest of the crew, they just shut things down. Falcons dropped to 3-13 on the season. But then week number 18, the season finale at home. This one is for all the marbles. The loser gets the first overall pick, and the Falcons take it. Michael Penix Jr. finishes strong, and the Atlanta Falcons pick up the win number 4, moving to 4-13 on the season, getting the second overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. Yes, it is rough, but 2025 is a development year for Michael Penix Jr. The growing pains will be real, but he gets very valuable reps. And by the end of the season, he's showing signs of what he could be the guy. Will he be the guy? That's a different question. If the Atlanta Falcons add offensive line and give him a few more weapons, this could be a very dangerous team by 2026. So Falcons fans and people in the chat, are you guys riding with Michael Penix Jr. through the rebuild, or are you already questioning the front office plans? Guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And remember, we're live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Let's get into the comments and see what you guys are talking about. Old Man River says, off the cuff a little bit, but I think the Falcons will go 8-9, just a little bit below 500. I just don't see it. The only way I could see the Falcons being a 7, 8, 9 win team is if they bring in Kirk Cousins. Now, we all know that Kirk Cousins is probably going to end up in Pittsburgh in the next few weeks, right? Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. The Falcons are looking to shop away Kirk Cousins so they do not have this controversy during week 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They want Michael Penix Jr. to be the guy moving forward. They don't want any Kirk Cousins anywhere near them. Hearing the play Kirk Cousins, you're paying him $100 million to sit the bench, play Kirk Cousins. Like, no, we don't want to hear that. David says, well, maybe we do agree on a few things. Listen, my man, I'm the people, for the people, by the people. No, I'm kidding. Like I feel that if you guys are projecting the Falcons to be winning the division, to be an 11-win team, to be a 12-win team, you are an Atlanta Falcons fan. If you are an outsider, if you are a neutral party, I think we're seeing the writing on the wall. We're seeing anywhere from 4 to 6 wins tops for the Atlanta Falcons. I just don't see it. And Old Man River says, short out the BS. Just short out the BS. So Old Man River is saying, get Kyle Pitts out of there. That's what Old Man River is saying. My chair keeps falling. If anybody wants to fund me a new chair, go for it. This little gas thing is messed up. Old Man River says, trade Kyle Pitts to the Kansas City Chiefs now. And they'll send us Travis Kelce. They did it before. Why not do it again? And Old Man River says, brings the fruits. He says, Kirk Cousins will finish the second half of the season. Listen, if the season starts the way I think it will, 0-4, actually what I have him like 0-7. Sorry, I had him starting 0-6. I think if the Commanders beat down the Falcons like I think they will, we might see Kirk Cousins in the second half of that game, going into the bye week, and then week 6, 7, 8, we might see Kirk Cousins start those few games. But I do not see him finishing more than 3 or 4 games this season. Whether it's being banged up, whether it's was it his shoulder that was injured toward the end of the season, I just don't think Kirk Cousins is fully healed from that Achilles yet, to be honest. So it is going to be tough. Alpha Rob says 3 to 4 wins for the Atlanta Falcons. Alpha Rob, we are on the same page, but John wants to be the outlier. John says, hold my beer.
Pigskin pun. Get you
I am a pigskin pundit, says John, and things go my way, and I say the Atlanta Falcons go 6-11. And then he said they're going to be playing Kirk Cousins after week 6 or 7. So, John, I do agree with you that they'll be playing Kirk Cousins at some point during the season, preferably after the bye week. Let him get acclimated as a starter, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But 6 wins? Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. That is tough. That is tough. I don't know. Does Kirk Cousins get him a win over the Patriots or the Colts or the Saints? I don't know. That is tough. One thing we know Kirk Cousins can do is tank a Week 18 game. So if they're truly going into Week 18 3-13, and the Saints are going into Week 18 3-13, you better put Kirk Cousins in there. He will tank that game for you 100%. I'm kidding, Kirk Cousins. We know, so if you guys are new here, we have a pigskin punter. Her name is Laura. She is the biggest Kirk Cousins fan ever. So anytime you guys see Laura in the chat, be sure to recognize her as the president of the Kirk Cousins fan club, because she still is the president, and she's very, very proud of that title. But let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is still the guy in Tampa, guys. No quarterback was taken in the draft, and the Bucs made it clear that they're riding with this core for at least one more season. So what does this mean for the 2025 NFL season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Let's break it down in the way too early win-loss prediction for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and walk through each in 4 key phases. Guys, the reason why we break the NFL season down into 4 key phases is because if you win first 4 weeks, if you're a winning team then, a winning team in the second part, third part, fourth part, you will be a winning team in the end. That's just the way we always do it. That's even how we do it in the high school and college ranks as well. But weeks 1 through 4, they are starting hot in the South. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys, host the Atlanta Falcons, a divisional game which always brings the heat, but Baker Mayfield gets it done. Home in front of the home crowd. Week number 1, they beat the Falcons, start off the season 1-0. Week number 2, the Houston Texans come to town. CJ Stroud enter in his 3rd year, and he carves up the Bucs secondary. That's right, guys. I am buying the Houston Texans of what they're doing, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to 1-1 on the season. And then week number 3, they're hosting the New York Football Jets. This will be a very defensive-heavy game, but Tampa wins it late with better quarterback play in Baker Mayfield. Baker freaking Mayfield, baby. Jack him off, baby. They're 2-1 going into week number 4. And then week number 4, they do have yet another home game, this time against the Philadelphia Eagles. Guys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers own the Philadelphia Eagles as of late. The last 2, 3, 4 seasons, the Buccaneers versus the Eagles, the Bucs always come out on top. And I think Baker Mayfield outguns Philly in a surprising shootout win. I think this is a 34-30 type of game, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers moved to 3-1 for the first month of the season. So the first 4 weeks of the season, guys, I have them starting 3-1. A nice, strong start, and the Buccaneers look like a legit NFC South contenders, right? Hell, you can even put them as a legit NFC contenders at this particular point. But we still have a long, long season, and this mid-season slide, weeks 5 through 8, is when everything starts crumbling down. Now, week number 5, they have a long trip to Seattle. The Sam Darnold is in control, and that newness is still is still happening, and we're still trying to figure out exactly who the Seahawks are, and the Seahawks pull it out. The loss for the Buccaneers, moving them to 3-2 on the season. And then week number 6, they even have another tough test on the road yet again versus the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, I think, are going to be a very, very good team that defense feast on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, moving them to 3-3 on the season. Now, week number 7, they're back at home finally, much needed home cooking, but guess who comes into town? The one and only Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. Guys, Jared Goff and the Detroit offense stays rolling, and yet another loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this mid-season slide, giving them 3 losses in a row, moving them to 3-4 on the season. Week number 8, they're back on the road, taking on a Saints team. And the Saints always bring the heat in the dome. Another loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4 losses in a row, moving them to 3-5 heading into the break. Now, that early momentum stalls 3-5 heading into the bye week, and the questions start to rise about the consistency on both sides of the ball. Does Mike Evans still have it? Is Chris Godwin back 100%? Why is Baker Mayfield playing so bad? But the bye week come at a perfect time, and weeks 9 through 13, they have some regrouping and some regaining control. So week 9, they do have the bye week, much needed. And then week number 10, they're back at home versus the New England Patriots. The Patriots are going to be a sneakily good team, but the Bucs get back on track with a solid win that makes them 4-5 on the season. But then week 11, they're back on the road taking on the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen lights it up, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do drop to 4-6. Week 12, they're back on the road yet again, this time in LA versus the LA Rams. A tough matchup, and it shows the Bucs fall to 4-7. But week 13, they finally get back at home. They get a little bit easier of a game back at home, take on the Arizona Cardinals, and they take care of business, and they win. They're now 5-7 on the season. So after 12 games, they are 5-7. They're still alive in a wide open NFC South, but the margin of error is now gone. They need to finish strong, and they need to sweep the remaining games, and that's exactly what they do come week 14 through 18. They finish strong in the division. That's all that matters. Getting into the playoffs and getting that home playoff game. Week 14, they have a big-time rematch versus the New Orleans Saints. This time, the Bucs take it. Baker Mayfield plays cleaner, smarter football, moving them to 6-7 on the season. Week 15, they down to Atlanta. The Falcons are already fading, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the sweep of the Falcons, moving them to 7-7 on the season, back to 500 where they belong. And then week 16, the Panthers are back on the road, taking on the Carolina Panthers. This one, however, slips away late. The Carolina Panthers grind out win. The Bucs fall to 7-8 on the season. Now, week 17, the Dolphins come to Tampa. It is a big test, but somehow, some way, the Buccaneers pull the upset. Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield even show out. 5 touchdowns, maybe 8-8 on the season. And then week 18, final game of the season, they're finally back at home to take on the Carolina Panthers, but the rematch goes to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They finished 9-8 on the season. So, guys, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season are going to be a good team, but not a dominant team. They are going to be a good team, but not a gritty one. If the NFC South stays wide open, which I think it will, 9 wins will be enough to win that division and make that playoff push, right? They have no rookie quarterback drama. They have no major scheme overhaul, just a veteran team grinding out and hoping that Baker Mayfield keeps the fire alive. So, guys, let me ask the questions down below. Do you believe Baker Mayfield can lead this team back to the playoffs, or the Bucs just delaying the rebuild? Guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Remember, we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. This is a live interactive show, so comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, and let's get into the comments and discuss them. Old Man River says, dude, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. David says 13-plus wins for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, David, normally I would be all over this. I would be agreeing with you 100%. But look at their schedule, my man. Look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers schedule, especially on the road. They play a lot of their big games on the road at Houston Texans, Monday Night Football. That's that 7 p.m. game, right? And then they're at the Seattle Seahawks. They play at Detroit. They play at Buffalo, at LA. Those are tough games. If they can win one of those tough games on the road versus the Lions, versus the Buffalo Bills, versus the Rams, right? They could eventually, yes, be a 10-13 win team. But right now, I'm thinking 9-8. Old Man River says the Bucs will be 12-5. Are there 5 losses just to the Eagles, Lions, Bills, Rams, and 49ers? Do you think they're beating everybody else? I see a tough schedule. and I see a team that you don't want to play in the playoffs, just like last season. The Eagles dodge a big bullet by not playing the Buccaneers in the playoffs last season, but it just is what it is. Old Man River says, Buck, you're high. This is Baker's year. Yes, this is Baker's year to come back down to reality. Baker Mayfield has been a top 10, if not a top 5 quarterback the last couple seasons. I will give you that, Old Man River. I love me some Baker Mayfield. I loved him ever since he was at Oklahoma, playing those Kansas Jayhawks on that big old nasty bird. It was amazing. But I think Baker Mayfield actually kind of has a down year. So he's only like a 12, 13 ranked quarterback this particular season. And John says, Buck, you're right. I had the Bucks going 10-7, not 9-8, but hey, John, I think we're on the same page. I think the Lions beat the Buccaneers, John, just for you. I picked that game just for you, buddy. Pepe says the Eagles love that Diddy play. We'll be talking about that Diddy play coming up in Inferno Thursday. We'll talk about that. Alpha Rob said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be 10-7 as well. Okay. What guys? What? So I have them at 9-8. David and Alpha Rob have them at 10-7. Do you guys think they sweep the division and get that extra win, whether it be from the Falcons or from the Saints or from the Panthers, or what are you guys thinking? David says there's no way the Tampa Bay doesn't get more wins than last season with all those injuries. You should take another look at the team because you're way off. David, as I do believe in you, I think their schedule got a hell of a lot harder. When you play the Texans, Eagles, the 49ers, Lions, the Buffalo Bills, and the Rams, hell, even the Cardinals, you can potentially throw in the Miami Dolphins in there. That is tough, right? That is tough. The one thing, though, that does surprise me is they do play the Buffalo Bills in the preseason. So, guys, keep that in the back of your head. They play them the final preseason game of the NFL preseason, and then they do turn around and play them a couple months later. So, keep that in mind. John says both will make playoffs and delay the rebuilding. Old Member says they beat Philly in Philly last season. They did. And the year before that, they beat them in the playoffs when the Eagles started 11-0 or 12-0, right? My man Derek says, what up, man? What's up, Derek?
Pigskin pun.
What's up, man? What's up? David says, Tampa believes they are Super Bowl contenders. Nobody is thinking they're anywhere close to a rebuild. Now, when I say rebuild, I meant retooling, right? Because their receiver core is pretty old. Yes, they did draft, what's his face? I can't think of his name. But Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are getting up there in pretty good age, right? That front seven on the defense is getting pretty old. So they need to retool, I guess I should say, not rebuild. They beat both the Eagles and the Lions last season. They did. They whooped that ass last season, but that's last year. That's last year. They're going to be ready at Detroit on Monday Night Football. The good thing is they do play the Eagles at 1 p.m. Losses to the Eagles, Lions, Bills, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, Panthers. Sounds about right. I see you, John. Old Member says, bet on Baker Mayfield jersey. I think a top 10 NFL, top 5 in the NFC. I'm not betting against Baker Mayfield. I have faith in Baker Mayfield, but my gut is telling me that there's going to be other quarterbacks that outperform him. In the NFC alone, I can anticipate Jaden Daniels will be good. Dak Prescott. Hell, you got Jalen Hurts. Those are 3 just in the NFC East, right? And then, if you look out west, you have Kyler Murray's going to have a top 10 year. Sam Darnold could potentially be pretty damn good. And oh, by the way, we still got Jared Goff. We still got Jordan Love. We still have a potential wild card in J.J. McCarthy. The NFC quarterbacks got hell of a lot better. Hell of a lot better. Alpha Rob says they sweep the Saints and Falcons. Okay. David says, nah, Tampa is competing with the Lions and Eagles for the number 1 seed this season. No, they're not. Because we all know the Lions and the Eagles are not going to be competing for that number 1 seed. Who is going to be competing for the number 1 seed, you ask? It'd be the Rams, it'll be the 49ers, and it'll be the Packers. Those will be the teams that are competing for the number 1 seed. Derek says win, or that's it. Lions without Ben Johnson winning. Okay, Derek. Ben Johnson is that big a factor in Detroit. Okay. Not a thing. Goodbye. What? Notice he didn't say Dallas, because I can't ride the Dallas Cowboys nuts. Whatever. Let's move on to the Carolina Panthers. Guys, the Panthers are heading into 2025 NFL season, still trying to figure out who they exactly are. As Bryce Young enters year 3, this is a make or break season for Bryce Young and this coaching staff. Now, the coaching staff has changed, the roster has reshaped, and the fan base is hungry for progress. So let's dive into the way too early win-loss prediction and break the season down into 4 phases. So, guys, week 1 through 4, it is a rough start for the Carolina Panthers, but there will be signs of life. Week number 1, they start on the road versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, the brand new and improved Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Trevor Lawrence and that offense starts fast. I anticipate the Jaguars starting the season off very, very fast, but the Panthers fall short, starting the season off 0-1. Then week number 2, they're back at home, taking on a very, very good Arizona Cardinals team. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray have too much to prove. Loss. They're now 0-2 on the season. But then week number 3, the division rival Atlanta Falcons come into town, and this time the Carolinas put a complete game together. Bryce Young has a clean game, and the Panthers grab their first win of the season, moving them to 1-2 in the season. And then week number 4, they have a road trip to a very much improved New England Patriots team. This defense is too much, and the offense is just that much better. Panthers drop to 1-3 on the season. So through the first 4 weeks, guys, I have them starting at 1-3. They're still inconsistent, but there's fight in this team. Division games are going to be crucial down the line. Keep that in mind. Divisional games will be crucial coming down the line. But then week 5 through 9, they're slipping into a tough little stretch. The games are not very easy. Week number 5, though, they have a huge upset. The Dolphins come to Carolina, and the Carolina Panthers wax that ass. The defense shows up. Bryce Young played like he did at the end of the season, moving them to 2-3 on the season. And then week number 6 happens. The Dallas Cowboys come rolling into town, and it is a one-sided game in this particular one. Dak Prescott, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, they go off, and they lose, dropping them to 2-4 on the season. Week number 7, they travel to New York to take on the Jets. Too many turnovers. The Panthers fall to 2-5 on this season. And yes, the schedule does not get any easier because they play the Bills come week number 8. At least they're at home. But Josh Allen, MVP Josh Allen, dominates. Another loss. They're now 2-6 on the season. Week number 9, they're back on the road to play the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love and that offense stay hot. The Panthers dropped their 4th straight game, moving them to 2-7 on the season. What's up, Daniel Barry? I see you, man. So at this midpoint of the season, guys, they're 2-7. The momentum from the Miami upset quickly faded away. A young team with talent, but not enough consistently to hang in the deep in the end. And then weeks 10 through 13, the question is, can they steady the ship? Can they get on their winning ways and finally win a couple games? Long story short, no. But week 10, they are back at home to play the New Orleans Saints. They do take advantage of the New Orleans Saints struggling and pick up a win, number 3 on the season, moving to the 3-7. Week number 11, it's a rematch versus the Atlanta Falcons, this time in Atlanta. The Falcons get the revenge and hand the Carolina a divisional loss, moving them to 3-8 on the season. Then week 12, cross-country road trip to face the San Francisco 49ers, not even close. Panthers drop to 3-9 on the season. Week 13, the Rams in LA, Stanford, Devontae Adams take over. The Panthers fall to 3-10 on the season. Week 14, finally get a bye week. A much-needed bye week. If they would have got this bye week several weeks earlier, they could be a totally different season. But after 13 games, they're 3-10. This team needs to finish strong to salvage something to give fans hope for the 2026 NFL season. Unfortunately, the schedule sets up for it. Weeks 15 through 18, they finish strong. And there's hope yet again for the future. The Saints again and again, the Panthers take it. Young out-duels whoever the Saints quarterback is at this particular point. They're now 4-10. Week 16, they play the Buccaneers at home. The Tampa Bay is fighting for that divisional crown, but the Carolina plays spoiler with the gritty win, moving them to 5-10. Now, week 17, they play the Seahawks at home. Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks come in flat. The Panthers seal it late, moving them to the third straight win, now 6-10. Now, week 18, the final game on the road versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers get the revenge and finish off the Cardinals season with the loss, moving the Panthers to 6-11. Now, 6-11 is not a playoff team, but the way they finish matters this season. Winning 3 out of their final 4 games shows this roster is buying in and fighting. Bryce Young still needs to take a bigger leap, but at least we've seen flashes yet again, especially in the second half. So, guys, the questions are the Panthers legit sleeper team in 2026 if they finish 6-11 this season, or do they need to reset yet again? Guys, remember to hit that like button, hit the share button, and, of course, subscribe as well. And we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now, this is a live interactive show. Comment your thoughts down below, and let's get into those comments. Old Man River says he baiting ya. Get him. Get him. Get what? Get what? David says, yo, you going to give Carolina more wins than Tampa, and I'm going to have a stroke. You are shot. No. Carolina Panthers do finish the season 6-11, just like what Old Man River says, 6-11. Derek says their O-line got the Bills D. Derek, this is not the same Buffalo Bills defense from last season. The Buffalo Bills played this bend, don't break BS defense. This year, they going to get up in your face. Alpha Rob's going to be having wet dreams about how good this defense is. Alpha Rob's going to be having wet dreams about how good the Buffalo Bills are in 2025. The Buffalo Bills are nothing to sleep about. Now, Old Man River wants to waffle around.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Old Man River, as you are a pigskin pundit, you know we do not waffle around up at here at the Man Hour. First he wants to say the Carolina Panthers are going to be 6-11. But he's like, or they might be 11-6. So Old Man River saying pretty good or pretty bad? Pretty good or pretty bad? You can't have it both ways over here, Old Man River. Somebody get this man a beer. Derek says the 49ers are set up to lose. Derek, we covered the 49ers last night. I had them going 13-4. I think the 49ers are out to prove something. Now, they will be a one and done in the playoffs. Let's not get it twisted. But they have something to prove in the regular season, much like the Detroit Lions do. Old Man River says, it's the learning curve. I expect better next season. Yeah. And Alpha Rob says the Panthers will be 5-12. So I think we're all kind of on the same boat here that the Carolina Panthers will have yet another losing season. So, guys, that kind of breaks it down where the NFC South is just not a very good division. Guys, so let's recap and give the power rankings for the NFC South. So coming in at number 4, I do think the Falcons will finish third in the division with 13 record, but I think they'll be the least powerful team in this division. Guys, let's just be honest. The Falcons could be in for a very, very long season. Michael Penix Jr. is entering his second year, and while the tools are all there, the schedule is brutal, and the roster around him still lacks that punch, I do believe. I've got the Atlanta South Falcons starting 0-4 before their bye week and not really finding much of a rhythm all season long. Their only wins against the Dolphins, Panthers, and Seahawks and Saints in the final week. That is a tough and rough stretch for any team that has playoff aspirations, especially after drafting Michael Penix Jr. so high. Arthur Smith is gone. Raheem Morris is in for his second season, and it's clearly a rebuild disguised as a reset. Until this team finds answers on offensive line and gets some actual consistency from their defense, I'll have to say they'll stay at the bottom of the division. And then coming in at number 3, we do have the New Orleans Saints. As I do think that they will finish last in the division with 3-14 record, I think they're just a little bit better team than the Atlanta Falcons going into the season. Yes, the record is worse than Atlanta, but they come in third because of the total organizational freefall, right? I've got the Saints guys losing their first 7 games, and it doesn't get much better from there. They only beat the Buccaneers, Falcons, and Jets all season long. We don't know who their quarterback is, and that is the biggest struggle. The offense looks stale. The Dennis Allen seat has to be melting by mid-season. Let's just be honest. This is the year the New Orleans Saints finally pay the price for kicking the cap down the road. They locked into a bloating roster with aging stars, and the rebuild is officially overdue. It's going to get worse before it gets better in the Big Easy. And then coming in at number 2, we do have the 6-11 Carolina Panthers. This is where it gets interesting, right? The Carolina Panthers may be finishing third in the standings. Actually, they'll finish second in the standings, but they're still second in the power rankings, and the arrow is pointing up for the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young is in year 3. Finally looks like he belongs in the NFL. I've got the Panthers winning 4 out of the last 5 games, beating the Saints, Buccaneers, Seahawks to finish strong. And that momentum matters. The offensive line is still shaky, and they still need more weapons, but the defense could keep them competitive for most of the weeks. The team is building something, and if they add a true wide receiver to shore up in the trenches, they could definitely make some noise in 2026. And then, of course, the number 1 team is the 9-8 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's Baker Mayfield's show until it isn't. And right now, that might be good enough to win the division yet again. Guys, the Buccaneers come into the 2025 with the steady defense and aggressive offense and the real chip on their shoulder. They've gotten the beaten teams like the Eagles, Jets, Patriots, Cardinals, sweeping the Panthers and going 9-8. Now, this is not a dominant team. This is the middle of the pack team, but they're the most complete team in a weak division. Their coach has them playing tough, gritty football, and the rest of the South either are rebuilding or treading water. Tampa Bay stands out. So a quick recap, I do have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the best team in that division, and then the Panthers, Saints, and then the Falcons. So, guys, what do you think? Do you guys think the Buccaneers can hold on to the NFC South, or is this the year for the Carolina Panthers or the Falcons to finally flip the decision? Derek says, Aaron Rodgers to New Orleans? No, Derek. Aaron Rodgers is 43 years old. He does not want to be any part of a rebuild at all. Scooby UT in the chat says 10-12 win for the Falcons? No. 4 wins for the Falcons. Maybe 3. Potentially 5. I picked the middle of the road. I think the Falcons have a ceiling of 5 and a floor of 3. They are not going to be very, very good. David says Tampa brought back the entire offense that was top 5 last season with Godwin and Evans missing 14 games, and they added a first-round wide receiver. That is going to be the best offense in the league. No, it's not. No, it's not, David. They might be the best offense in the division, but outside of their division, if you put them in any other NFC conference, they're going to be the worst offense in said divisions. I think the Cardinals are better. I think the Rams are definitely better. The Cowboys are better. The Eagles are better. The Commanders are better. The Packers, the Vikings, the Lions, they may not even be a top 10 offense in the NFC. It's just thing. Scooby says, I think you are completely wrong. I bet my house on the Atlanta Falcons winning 10-12 games. Scooby, I don't know what kind of house you live in, but I know here in Indiana, the average house is about $300,000. And if you bet $300,000 on the Falcons to win 10-12 games and you win, you're going to be 5, 6, 7, 8 millionaire, right? It's just all the power to you, brother. But I don't have that kind of money. David says they were top 5 last year. What are you even talking about? I'm talking about everybody's got their thing on them. Everybody's got their number. Baker Mayfield's going to have a down year. Just my opinion. Just my opinion at the end of the day. But guys, it is time to get into a new little segment we like to call Thursday Inferno. Guys, welcome to Thursday Inferno, the hottest takes in football. This is a weekly segment where the heat gets turned up and the takes get scorching. Every Thursday night, guys, we throw caution into the wind and drop a bold, unfiltered opinion on everything that's happening around the NFL world. From controversial player rankings to explosive game predictions and front office criticism. Guys, Thursday Inferno is where football hottest debates take center stage. No safe takes, no sugarcoating, just pure, passionate football